Hey y'all. Can you hear me? I think you can. Sorry if there's a bit of extra noise in the background. The heater, the shower, everything's going right now. Such is life in the house with the family. Who we got so far? Hey De Havilland, hey Nathan, hey Isaiah. How are y'all doing today? I hope all is well. Did you guys have a good weekend? Hey Laura. Hey Angel. How is everybody? I hope you guys are ready to talk about GH today, because there's lots to talk about. 3 big plots, and then, some subplots, but we're going to talk about it all. Even if we speedrun a couple things. Because let's face it, there's always some stuff on the week that you can kind of just brush past a little bit. Doing well, Nathan, that's good. Yeah, I worked Saturday, and then went out Saturday night just with a supervisor who no longer works with me, and yeah, just like a final goodbye drink. Not that we're not going to hang out and stuff after, but it's just, it's always sad when one of us leaves to another place, so. Oh, hey, Kaiwan. You doing well? Good to see y'all in here, though. I know it was kind of a bit late setting up the live stream, but glad you're all here. Oh yeah, I should tell you, the weather has dropped down again in Edmonton. Oh, Kansas City's Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl? Nice! I forgot that the Super Bowl was coming up, I'm not gonna lie. It's Rihanna doing the halftime show, right? Man. Shows how much I pay attention to sports. Like, honestly, like, Sundays apart from doing this is just kind of like my... Oh, hey, Jacarius. Sundays apart from doing this is kind of like my unwind day completely. Like, I find, like, lately, I don't know, every Sunday I've been, like, waking up and watching, like, feel-good videos, like, like, emotional reunions and, like, just, like, fun, positive, light stuff that I'll, like, binge watch on YouTube. Canadians' last Super Bowl. Won't be there long. I'm just saying hey. Oh, it's always good to see you, Jacarius. And I've been good. Thanks for asking. But yeah, I always watch feel-good videos on Sunday. I especially, like, today I was watching, that one guy, I forget his name already, but he's the one that draws people on, like, subways and just hands it to them. Like, he's, like, a really good sketch artist. And everyone's always shocked because it's so quick and everything. Man. Love that guy. Hey, Sandy. Yeah, I'm not big on following sports, but I always do watch, like, the actual Super Bowl. Mostly for the halftime show, I'm not even gonna front, but, like, I'll watch, like, a lot of the game, too. Super Bowl Sunday, right? It is my day off work, apart from doing this stuff here, and I always try to enjoy it. I'm usually, like, writing the script for GHMV while I'm, like, watching those, so... Yes, Rihanna for the halftime, and my hometown is going to the Super Bowl. It's going to be crazy in Kansas City. Oh, I hope it's lit. Are you gonna go out to watch it, or are you gonna like sit at home and watch it, or what? You usually watch for the halftime too. Yeah. I am intrigued to see what Rihanna's gonna do. You know, like she hasn't been in the limelight this whole time. Hasn't put out an album in years. Like, yeah, she's been doing her clothing line and such, and having, you know, family time with her kid. But, you know, it'd be great to see her kind of get back in the game a little bit. I'm sure she'll announce a tour or something too. So I feel like that's the trend for artists. They do the Super Bowl and announce the tour because they know the getting is good. I don't watch the Super Bowl, but I get invited to the parties because I got no problem making food or running back and forth when the game's on. I watch for halftime. Well, hey, you know, like that is all right because, you know, 9 times out of 10 I don't know who the teams are. I'm just watching for the vibes, and then, you know, yes, I'm mostly there for the halftime show. Some have been better than others. I don't know how Rihanna's gonna do. Rihanna's one of those musicians, artists that I love her music, but I've always found most of her live performances to be a bit lackluster. So she, like, I think it's gonna take a bit for her to impress me. I'm rooting for her because, again, I love her music, but I don't know what it's gonna be like. Staying at home to watch it. Back in 2020, I almost went to the pep rally when they won. The parking was going to be insane. Oh, I bet. And I always watch from home mostly because of GHMV, but I just, you know, I still try to enjoy. I'm always here, like, writing my script. I have a drink, and I've got the game on the TV, which you guys can't see from here, but it's right here. And then I'm multitasking. But, yeah, I still try to embrace it. Takes me a bit longer to write my notes and stuff, but it's fine. Oh, she's from your mother's country. Okay. Oh, by Migos, so yeah, okay. Oh, okay, so the first time someone from there has played the Super Bowl. That's awesome. That's a great milestone. Man. Yeah, no, I really am rooting for her. I want her to give, like, a killer performance. I do wonder if she's gonna lip sync, because she never does, right? But she also, like, you know, I find that whenever she's performing live, she just lets the track do the singing for her, and she'll just dance around. I just don't want it to be that. I want her to, like, if she has to lip sync the whole damn thing and give it her all, then go for it. Because J-Lo and Shakira did that in 2020 and no one cared. They lip synced that whole thing. Oh man. And then who was it last year? Wait, hold on, I'm missing one. So 2020 was J-Lo and Shakira. 2021 was The Weeknd, right? And then who was 2022? Was it Maroon 5 or Adam Levine? Am I remembering that right? Well, let me know. Oh no, it wasn't. No, it was the hip hop gang. It was everyone in the hip hop gang. It was Mary J. Blige and Eminem and Dr. Dre and Snoop and 50 Cent was there too, and just a whole lot of good hip hop artists. I can't believe I forgot that. All right. Anyway, welcome to General Hospital MV, my GH after show. Shall we get into it? Are you guys ready to talk about GH? Let me know, because I am ready myself. Also, don't mind my voice. I'm just really tired today. Alright, well, I'm going to get into it. First things first, we gotta talk about Cam confronting Jocelyn. As you guys know, he had gone to the dorms to check on Joss after finding out what was going on with Willow and found Joss and Dex half naked. While Dex was gracious enough to get out of the room, Cam did not give Jocelyn an inch, and I lived for it, you guys. He even got her to admit that they slept together before they broke up, and he didn't buy any of her excuses, really, because she couldn't really give any. Sandy, you ready? All right. But yeah, all she could say is, I just couldn't find the time to break up before we jumped into bed together. Like, yeah, of course. She mentioned, like, getting attacked by the hook killer and stuff, and how Britt saved her and Dex came to her rescue, to which Cameron said, and you showed your gratitude by jumping into bed with him. And man, I was getting lucky confronting Elizabeth and Nicholas vibes with that scene. I was like, man, I wish Dex stayed. But then Dex would have been all chivalrous to Jocelyn, of course. So I kind of was glad he left too. Cameron made my day. Yeah, Cameron made my day too. Joss had it coming. The audacity of that girl to be asking favors. Yeah. Oh, Laura, I shit you not. In my notes, I have the word audacity in bold letters. I said, like, I'm just gonna read it word for word, okay? My notes. I usually like summarize, but listen, this is exactly what I say here. Anyway, just when you think Joss can't stoop any lower, she has the audacity to ask him to keep their relationship a secret, and he was not having it. But by the end of their conversation, he decided to, and not even because he's a good guy, like Jocelyn tried to be like, oh, you're such a good guy. He's literally just trying to save himself from the embarrassment of having to tell his peers that his girlfriend dumped him for a criminal. Man, I seriously, like, it wasn't as dark as I would have liked. But I was pretty satisfied with the scene overall. 2019 was Maroon 5. Thank you, Angel. But yeah, I can't believe Jocelyn had the nerve. Joss deserved all of what Cam gave her. Period. One of the first place of Carly and Joss acting like her more. Yeah, she really is. She really is her mother's daughter. Yeah, I can't wait until Trina and Spencer find out and rake her over the coals. I mean, they know about the breakup, and we'll talk about that in a second too. But yeah, like after he leaves Jocelyn's dorm, he goes back to Kelly's, where Elizabeth and Laura were. They were having a bit of a heart-to-heart because Carolyn, is in town, and she doesn't really know how to feel about it. But we'll talk about Carolyn and what she's doing here later. We'll just continue with like the Cameron and Joss and Trina and Spencer stuff, because I really wish that Cam told Spencer about Dex, but he didn't yet. I really want him to, but I don't know if he will. But anyway, Dex actually went over to Sonny's to tell him at least some of the truth about what happened in his encounter with the hook killer, of course. And Spencer happened to be there, and he basically called him an errand boy. I was getting Taggart vibes, like how he calls Jason, is it Anger Boy or Danger Boy? But yeah, I was getting Taggart vibes from that. But yeah, Spencer's living with Sonny now, by the way. I don't remember if we ever talked about it. Sonny did find out that Spencer was trying to get custody of Esme's child, or Esme and Nicholas's child, I should say, and gives him parenting advice. Because, he's done such a great job with his kids so far. I mean, his youngest son is dead. Another son hates him. His oldest son kisses his ass, but would still have to arrest him if he breaks the law. And then we never really see the daughters, but his former stepdaughter also hates his guts. So, like, I don't know if Sonny's anyone to be giving parenting advice. man. Angel, you said if I was Cam, I would have told Spencer and Trina that Joss cheated on me with Dex. Yeah, right? But I think it really was or down to the fact that he is humiliated right now. And I think that he'll probably, I feel like he will at some point allude at least Spencer to the truth, and I think that Trina's going to find out the truth from Jocelyn because, you know, they're like closer than, you know, the rest of the gang. You know about the breakup, but they don't know about her bed hopping with the bodyguard. I feel like Trina's got the vibe that Joss has feelings for Dex. She already does. And so I think she's going to put two and two together, and then Joss is probably going to admit it to her at some point. And I hope Trina rips her a new one for that too. I knew it wasn't going to last long between those two. Hope everyone has a good night so far, by the way. Hey, ATM machine. Yeah, so far so good. The stream is young, but we're vibing. Spencer cracked me up when he said I would be embarrassed if I broke up with Cam. And yeah, the smirk that Cam gave Spencer. Yeah. Oh man, that was good. Yeah, because I should mention Trina and Spencer end up at Kelly's, and Laura is like, Cameron needs a friend right now. I think Spencer's in love with Jocelyn. There's no other reason out of... I don't know. I don't buy that he's in love with her. I just think back to like when they were kids, and Spencer was all about Emma, you know? I feel like Jocelyn was more of a burden to him. It's time to give us some background on Dex. Who is he? I think we're going to find out soon, because as I was saying how Dex went over to Sunny's house and Spencer was there. Basically, Dex told him about the hook encounter, left out his sexual encounter with Jocelyn, of course, and Sunny was like, you did good. But then the second Dex left, Sunny was calling his people to look into everything about him. So I think we're going to learn more about Dex soon. I think they rewrote some stuff. We'll see. Cam and Joss only did it twice, and that was before Joss slept with Dex. And how many times have Dex and Joss slept together now? Like, seriously. But yeah, as I mentioned, Spencer and Trina went to Kelly's, and Laura told them to comfort Cam. Spencer couldn't wait to tell Trina that Joss broke up with Cam. Trina was shocked because she's just hearing about it now, even though it happened like a month ago. And can we please let Trina see that Joss is trash? Please. Because like, you know, I feel like I always think about like Cam and Trina and how they almost ended up together. So I do see them as close friends, and I want Trina to call Joss out for doing him dirty like that. Plus their families to talk about keeping it in the family. That would be gross. True. Sunny knew Dex was holding something back. Oh yeah. Thank God Cameron called Joss out. I knew he would find out sooner rather than later. I'm so glad he did. I really wasn't sure how he was gonna find out up until we seen that, oh, he's gonna go over to the dorm and Joss and Dex are there. Dex and Joss did it 3 times so far. Yeah, and it's been like, what, a month? Man. I will say that I think that this story is allowing William and Eden to grow as actors. Which we've talked about a couple times already, but I just want to reestablish that. They got established that she's gonna be Carly. They made it Carly. But yeah, like basically after the fallout with Cameron, Jocelyn calls Carly and she, you know, sobs to her all day, tells her how she messed up and, you know, how bad she feels for hurting Cameron all over again. and Carly just gives her the "just be honest with me" speech, and "you're so much like me, so I can't judge you. You're gonna do what you want to do, but never lie to me," is basically, the talk that Carly and Jocelyn had. Which I just, having Carly as a mom. But I also hate that, like, there's that excuse that, like, oh, I'm my mother's daughter. I'm gonna mess up, and this is I can't help it because DNA. I'm like, I don't know. I find that I'm not too much like my mother or my dad. I kind of wish they would have gotten together. Cam and Trina, you mean? Yeah, I was rooting for them too, honestly. Who is more like Carly, Esme, or Joss? I would say Joss. Trina will be upset with Joss for hurting Cam. Yeah, for sure. I think Spencer is all about Trina. I think so too. I know what you mean. Sorry, I'm reading Angel's post here. I know what you mean about Joss and Spencer. When Spencer first came on, I wondered if Eden and Nicholas were dating. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I never thought that. I don't think Joss was interested in Cam because Trina was interested in Cam first. I mean, I always hear people comment on that. I don't know. Because I feel like they were really trying to write Jocelyn as like this Disney princess with the whole Oscar thing, you know what I mean? But with her being Carly's daughter aspect, it certainly would be in the realm of that if they're kind of going all in with the being just like Carly vibe. But I always feel like they say it more than it's shown. Now it's being shown more. And I feel like they could have went all in with that like a few years ago too, but they never did. Like if she's gonna be a bad person, then like she needs to own it. And she doesn't own it. I hate that saying, it's just an excuse if you ask me. Yes. That Carly and Joss talk gave me a headache. Angel, you and me both. Oh, man. Alright. Let's move on, though. Let's talk about Trina and Spencer now. So, even though Laura told Spencer and Trina to be a friend to Cam because they need him, or because he needs them, they kind of failed because they were making eyes at each other, and even Cam called them out for their fake relationship being pointless since Esme's already out in the open and went back into the kitchen. And Trina ran circles trying to make excuses as to why faking a closeness was still necessary. And thankfully, while Spencer was kind of playing along with it at first, he was like, come on, let's be real, Trina. Let's stop this game. Like, we like each other. We are friends again. And let's just let that be instead of running around circles about it. And Trina was like, well, okay. So that we seem to be slowly getting into Spencer and Trina finally getting to just be Spencer and Trina. But of course, there still is the Esme factor too. He did open up to her about wanting to go for custody of her kid, and she was like, is you for real? And gave him the pros and cons like a good friend would about, essentially adopting a baby that young or becoming a father. And she talks about, like you're young, like you have so much life to live, and you're not going to be able to experience that if you have a kid. But you have matured more than you were, back a couple years ago. So I think that you could step up and be a good father, at least better than Nicholas. Weighing the pros and cons. And I think that's good of Trina. But I just, like, she tells him, she's like, I don't know about this, but like, I'll support you. And I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. What do you guys think? Joss is good natured, but she's too flighty and not good with her emotions. You're right. Love Trina and Spencer. They are so cute. I like them too. I'm glad that they finally kind of like were a bit real with each other in that moment, being like, come on, this is a game of cat and mouse. Let's just stop playing the game and just be us. I love Trina calling him on being too immature and how his entire social life is going to go down the drain. Yeah, like I do appreciate that she had that talk with him, because no one else is being that real with him. Yeah. The same raising a kid because it needed to be said. Yeah, it really did need to be said. No one else was saying it. Trina will stick with Spencer. Oh yeah, I think she will. But it's going to be hell. But she seems to be prepared for that. So Trina's going to do what she wants to do. And I think the only thing that's going to come in between them at this point is Taggart and Portia. You know? Like... they obviously don't want her with a Cassadine, and I'm still holding out hope that Gia is brought back. I need to see Gia interact with Trina about the Cassadines. If it doesn't happen in the 60th anniversary year, when will it? You know what I mean? This is the year for that to happen. If they're gonna go all in with Trina and Spencer, then that needs to be a scene of Gia putting Trina aside and just sharing her experiences with the Cassadines and the craziness that she experienced while being kind of swept up in that family. Because while I didn't see a whole lot of Gia and Nicholas's relationship, I did see the endgame story. And she was part of that whole getting lost in the maze thing, and freaking Stavros was there being a maniac, and you know, she did put up with some Cassadine BS. Portia and Nicholas, I don't know. Portia and Nicholas better not get together. But, I mean, I guess it could be in the possibility, since at some point it's going to come out that that she lied about Trina's parentage, and it's going to cause all hell to break loose, and Curtis is going to dump her ass because, you know, lying is a deal breaker for him. But, you know, Jordan's going to get all up in there and try to force Portia's hand, I'm sure. Will she succeed? Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, let's... Hold on, let me backtrack on my notes a little bit. Let's see, where was I? There we go. Alright, okay. Let's talk about Esme. She is not having a great time in jail. She's getting shoved around by some baddies in the spa jail. Heather's trying to still befriend her. She rescued her from the baddie. You know, just said, like, I'm going to be here to protect you because you remind me of my daughter and blah, blah, blah. But then Sam and Dante show up. Dante's checking in on Heather, and, you know, because he's only keeping her there to try and get info on Ryan, but since Esme's been found, it's not really necessary, but Heather tries to convince him that she would still be of use to him, or, you know, to get information on Ryan about his relationship with Esme, and she offers to try and get them to bump into each other, even though she's basically also telling Esme to stay away from Ryan, so... I don't know Heather's game, but I don't think Heather even knows her own game either. Sam, on the other hand, is trying to get on Esme's good side, offering to be a PI for her pro bono because it affects a lot of people that she cares about. And she tells Esme that she was close to a nanny, and that the nanny seems to know who her father is, and that he could be in the state of New York, and offers to try and track him down for her, and Esme agrees to it, which is why I think we now can officially say that Esme is not faking her memory loss, because Esme would probably be freaking out over someone trying to find her father, and she's thinking that this is a good thing, like someone that could actually help me out in my situation here. Oh, sorry, I'm going to catch up on your guys' messages. I doubt we'll get to see that from Gia, but I wouldn't mind her talking to Trina about the Cassadines. I want Trina to still be Taggart's bio daughter. Trina to GH's past. Oh, ties Trina to GH's past and strengthens her character position on the show. I think Trina's in good position already, though, because they seem pretty invested in the character to begin with. And they've done like a pretty bang up job at kind of establishing the Ashfords as like one of the main families on the show now. Yeah, they're newer, but they're very well established at this point. You got Curtis, you got Jordan, you got TJ and Molly, you got, you know, Trina, Portia, Taggart, Stella, Marshall. Like they're building them up. They're building them up. So, you know, I don't think that she needs to be necessarily tied to Taggart. And especially because Taggart, you know, he was only around for like a little bit, and it was just him and his sister, right? And then on top of that, like, Taggart is barely seen. I don't think he even technically lives in Port Charles. I don't think it would necessarily serve the show to tie her to a past character, one that wasn't around for all that long in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, Taggart wasn't a big thing on the show. Yeah, I love seeing him, but he was never like a major character. And he wasn't tied to many people. That's just my opinion, though, of course. Sandy, you said I can see Trina and Spencer bonding over the parents while living with Ava at Windermere. Oh, man, that would be crazy. Oh, Lord. Esme never stood a chance of being sane with her bio parents. True. Oh, you think you know who the Hook Killer is? Kaiwan, you've been saying that the Hook Killer is Jason's mom, and it'll never make sense to me why you think that. Why would it be Susan? The writers really dropped the ball on Taggart since he came back from the dead. It's true. It's true. And like Taggart, like, he doesn't live in Port Charles, right? He just comes and goes. And then it also doesn't help that, and I know this is really just comes down to actor availability, but they just go back and forth on like the two actors constantly playing him. Like, sometimes they'll use the one, sometimes they'll use the other. They don't even announce when it's like a recast anymore. They just bounce back between the two, and it makes it look sloppy and unprofessional, in my opinion. I feel like if they can't have the one actor commit to being there, then they need to, like, either let the character just be back and stay gone, or recast him to someone that can commit to the show more. And I don't want him to be recast, because it's great that Rael Andrews is, you know, he's the OG, and it's nice to see a familiar face. But if he can't commit, then why bring him back at all? Is all I'm saying. Taggart is there to further the plot occasionally now. Yeah, like, there's not much else to it. Taggart and Gia are better than Curtis, but it's not just Curtis, it's literally the entire Ashford family. Like, there's a lot of them, and they've been established for far more years now than Taggart was even on in the first place. That's what I'm getting at. Like, Taggart, yeah, he was on the show a long time ago, for a couple years. Curtis has now been on, what, since 2014-ish? Like, yeah, I know it comes down to a health thing with Rael Andrews, so I get that. But like, until then, then if they want to utilize Taggart, have him recast it until, you know, he recovers fully, because he will. You know, look at Cameron Matheson. You know, he went through it too. Oh, all right, but back to it, because we were getting thrown off a little bit. So Sam and Dante are going to go to London to track down the nanny, which Maxie is thrilled for them, because they're going to be on a trip together, and it'll be lovey-dovey because it's their first trip ever. And because Maxie said that, I feel like it's going to be a disaster. But the only thing that I can think about really when it comes to like Sam tracking down the nanny is that Sam really didn't do shit for Spencer, did she? Because yeah, he hired her, and she was like, well, he never followed up or whatever. Or no, Spencer said that he never followed up with her, but she had nothing to give him. She didn't do any work for him. Like, if she's just now going to London to try to track him down, that means she didn't do a damn thing, right? Oh man. Brooklyn, hey Brooklyn. You said, I think Trina will move in Sunny's place. Oh gosh, to be with Spencer after finding out that her mom lied to her. But Spencer is trying to find his own place though. So I think wherever that ends up being, because Spencer can afford to move into his own place, she might move in with him. I don't care about Curtis and the Ashfords. The only good one is TJ. Listen, I know that the Ashfords are a bit of a mess, but like, I'm just saying that they're an established family that have been on for years now, whereas Taggart was just a blip in GH history for like 2 years. So it makes more sense to tie Trina to Curtis and the Ashfords than it does to Taggart, who is just basically a lone wolf, even if Gia makes an appearance, because you know that Gia is not going to be brought on to be a regular either. Sam didn't do one thing. Exactly, Sandy. Sam didn't do shit. Can they even recast someone who's sick? Like, I'm not sure if that's illegal. If he's going through chemo to recast him. Well, the thing is, Taggart, or Real Andrews rather, isn't on contract. So they can do whatever they want with the character. Like, if they, like, their GH isn't, like, forced, and, you know, illness aside, like, GH isn't forced to keep someone on. You know what I mean? Like, someone that can't even commit to the show. Like as a business thing, like, if they want to make Taggart more of a presence on the show, then they have every right to recast him, and that's proven by the fact that they keep on swapping the actors that's playing Taggart from 1 minute to the next. You know what I mean? Like, they don't really care that much, because they have no problem recasting him sometimes. Next door, right next to Sunny's, isn't up for sale. I mean, it could be. Wait, no, doesn't Sunny live across from Sam and Dante now? Because that's supposed to be his old penthouse, right? And he lived right across from Jason back then. Or Alexis back, I guess, in the day, if you want to get, like, technical. The stem cell thing was a genius stroke of plot, by the way. Oh, we're going to talk about that. I'm saving that plot for last, but we're going to get into that, too. The thing is, with Medical and Family Leave Act, I think it would be in bad taste and blowback on them if they recast someone sick if they didn't want to go. But he's been in remission for like a while, right? Like, I think it would only be an issue if Real Andrews was actually on contract, but he's not. Like, that's the thing, he's not. That it would make sense if he was on contract and they booted him, then that would be an issue. But he's not on contract with the show. He's got zero. He doesn't have to make a commitment to the show, which means that GH doesn't have to commit to him. You know, like, it's like a tit for tat kind of thing. I'm just trying to think of it logically, you know? Like, I think, like, they're not, because he's not on contract, they're not forced to keep him on. And I think that, you know, like, let's say they get someone new to play to play Taggart for a while. I think that they wouldn't put that actor on contract either, and I think that once Rail is completely healthy enough, I don't see GH not bringing him back, you know? Oh, Sonny's old house? Carly's house now. The house next door. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Kate Howard's old house. How can you act on the show if you're not under contract? I never understood that. So there's actors that are on contract and there's actors that are recurring, meaning some actors get paid, are on contract, so they're promised a certain amount of episodes, whereas recurring characters, they only get paid for whatever episode they're brought on to do. Yeah, like let's say if GH was like, oh, we need you to come in to be Taggart on this scene, that actor has the right to be like, I can't. I have another commitment, and therefore GH can recast to have someone that can. Right? It's like Heather Weber. We learned that the reason why Robin Matson couldn't come is because she had a surgery, so she's not on contract. Therefore, they had the right to recast the character with someone who is available to play Heather. Which I think, you know, at least in Heather's case, it was kind of a blessing in disguise, because I'm really enjoying the actress that's playing her really, really a lot. Which I hate, because I'm like, Robin Matson is an OG, but like, I forget, is it Allie Mills that's playing her now? Or she's killing it. They only brought it up because there are cancer discrimination disability laws. I mean, it's true, but like, I just think, you know, obviously, I think, had we not been continuously seeing people go back and forth on playing Taggart so much in the last couple of years, you know, it kind of makes sense that like they have the right to kind of like push off, because at the end of the day, it's not discrimination. It's just like, he can't commit to what GH could potentially need him for. Epiphany was a recurring character. Exactly. Yeah, and I honestly, I don't think that Real Andrews would necessarily mind. I think that he would understand that, like, especially if they're wanting to utilize Taggart, the character, more. Like, if he can't commit to like a fuller time availability, then I think he would be understanding if GH casts him until he's a bit more, you know, ready to commit to more. Alright, but let's move on though. We're gonna move on to some of the smaller plots, so we can get the sort of the rest of the live stream going. Let's talk about Carolyn. While she claimed to be in town to consult on a patient, she was actually in town because Nicholas summoned her. He basically tries to convince her to use whatever method she used to make Elizabeth forget her role in Reiko's death on Esme, which, while he doesn't state why that's necessary, he does say that making Esme continue to forget will help Elizabeth. Carolyn thankfully doesn't easily buy into that. He thinks that he's really doing this for himself, or she thinks that he's doing it for himself, and basically tells him to shove it and storms off, but I doubt that he's done trying to convince her. Who knows though, maybe Carolyn will mention it to Elizabeth and Liz will actually confide in her, since Elizabeth actually alluded to maybe kind of wanting a relationship with her in the future to Laura. She's torn because she's dreamt of her kids having their grandparents in their lives, but you know, her her feeling towards her parents is obviously getting in the way of that. The same character from 1981? Who do you mean? Also, speaking of Nicholas, Nicholas gave Ava Windermere in the divorce because Victor blackmailed him into it. So he officially no longer lives at Windermere. And speaking of Ava, Ava gets a glimpse of Austin and Mason kind of fighting each other. And she goes up to bat for Austin, reminding Mason that he was there the night that she was stabbed and that the police wanted to talk to everyone that was there, which kind of scares him away. And Austin even alludes to the family business a little bit, that he's trying to get away from it. And I've been thinking, because we've kind of all been speculating on who the female boss is that Austin and Mason have been answering to. I kind of thought Selena. Now that they're kind of hooking Ava into that sort of Austin story, it's starting to make me wonder if it's Olivia Jerome, because they've mentioned her semi-recently, and how she's kind of making waves in the jail. Over, you know, the whole Anna stuff. Ava knows something is up. Yeah, she knows something is up. I have to say that when we seen Ava and Nicholas talking at the Metro Court, my favorite thing is that the writers always give Ava the best one-liners. It doesn't matter who is writing her, they always give her the best one-liners, and Maura West always has the best delivery, because, you know, she talks about, you know, or Nicholas is like, you've taken everything from me, and Ava's like, welcome to the club. And did Jerome have another sister though? Olivia Jerome? I mean, Ava's only other sister is Olivia. I think, right? Wonder if she would ever come back to the mob scene, Ava. Guess we'll find out. I think that she would. Although, no, I don't know. I feel like she's thrived since the Jerome family mob dealings kind of went under when Julian died. Well, actually, even Julian left the mob too, right? So, I don't know. But yeah, Ava's one-liner. When she mentions that Nicholas knocked up a girl that was not even legal enough to buy this martini that she was drinking, and it, like, you just realize the ick factor that was Nicholas and Esme, because, you know, Esme is probably like 20 years old, and like Ava said, she can't even legally buy a martini. I just love that line, and her delivery of it was just perfect. I was laughing when she said that. It was so funny. Ava was a kick-ass mobster, and it's like they've taken her balls, so to speak. I want kick-ass Ava again. Ava can still be kick-ass when she wants to be. It's just that Nicholas, you know, really knocked her down a lot. But she's fighting back now. I hate that Julian died when he fell off the pier wrestling Sonny over the gun, which led to the Nixon Falls. Which led him to having memory loss and all the BS. Yeah, you know, that stupid fall on the bridge or wherever it was really did lead us to Nixon Falls, and that just brought it's brought us hell for a long time, hasn't it, guys? Good to see you, Ruth, by the way. I hope Amnesia Esme is horrified if she finds out. Yeah, no kidding. And the thing is, even Esme, with memories, did seem kind of scared of Ryan, right? Certain times she seemed scared of Ryan. I would love to see Olivia Jerome go head to head with Ms. Wu. I think Ms. Wu would win though, because, you know, Like, yeah, Olivia is scary, but she's also batshit crazy, and not in like a sane way. She's like legitimately insane. She tried to bring Duke back to life by like experimenting on Griffin in a basement. Like, she's loop-de-loop crazy, okay? Oh man. That was Julian's revenge. Sonny lost his family. We all called it, didn't we? We all knew it was gonna happen. I hate they ruined Julian's character. You know, I always struggle with Julian as a character because I really wanted him to be all in on the bad guy vibes. Because, like, the Jeromes are legendary on GH. And, you know, they made him morally gray for a while. And then they put him with Alexis. And then they made him really abusive towards Alexis. And I know that a lot of people hated that because Julexis had a really big fan base. But I was actually pretty stoked that Julian was like going all in on being the bad guy, but then they kind of rewound and started to rewrite things in ways that didn't make sense, and there was plot holes everywhere, which is classic Ron Carlivati, because that's when Ron was still on the show. But like, I would have rather seen bad guy Julian than like him get sacrificed to bring Julexis back, because it first of all, Alexis going back to a man that abused her, like, really ruined the integrity of that character. And then on top of that, it turned her into an alcoholic, like, and like, it just, Alexis went through hell just for the sake of being with Julian. I don't know, that never sat right with me. I didn't think Julexis was worth ruining the character of Alexis. I don't want her to be scared of Ryan. I want her to be horrified that she slept with her with her boyfriend's father. Oh, okay, that's what you meant. That's why they call it Nixon Falls, because it falls the show down. Yeah, Nixon Falls is a mess. They always make the bad guys stupid or not as intelligent as Carly or Sonny. True. I can't wait for Ava to... Ava, would you have a throwdown? That would be something to see. Ava and... Oh, do you mean Miss Wu? Ava and Selena Wu? That would be interesting. The Hook Killer should kidnap Carly. You know, someone was saying, and I can't remember if this was on the live stream or not, maybe it was, that like Nell could legitimately be the Hook Killer. That Nell could be legitimately the Hook Killer, because it kind of makes sense a little bit. Because Nell would hate Jocelyn for, you know, helping her get got when she beat the crap out of her on the pier. And she would hate Ava, who's the one that, you know, gave back the baby blanket that put Nell in jail. And yeah, Brando died, and he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Nicholas, Nicholas, there was potential that Esme just dressed up as the Hook Killer to scare him, but Nell also has a reason to go after Nicholas. So, you know, Nell might be a contender for the Hook Killer. Laura, you said, I hate them turning Alexis into an alcoholic. The best scenes were when she and Diane would go out drinking and singing and playing pool. Yeah, I miss those days. I get it, she's Heather Weber, crazy, yeah. Ava's sister, Olivia, yeah, totally, completely, and utterly, without a doubt, crazy. Yeah, it's true. Nathan, you said they really jumped the shark with Julian. I even hated the relationship with Julian and Sam, because as much as Sam had every right to be angry with Julian, she ain't no saint either. True. Laura, you said, watch Esme have more class than Jocelyn and be upset she cheated on someone. Oh man, can you imagine? Laura, you said the hook killer doesn't want Carly. None of them want Carly anymore except for Drew. Why would Nell go after Trina? So, the thing is, the hook killer hasn't gone after Trina yet, have they? You know? Everyone just assumes that, like, Trina's the connection, and it makes sense. The only kind of oddball is Ozard Haggerty, because even Diane was the lawyer that made Nell lose custody of Wiley, right? So she even has a reason to go after Diane. It's just Oz Haggerty is the odd one out. And then, I mean, Heather went after Jocelyn the last time, but someone tried to go after Jocelyn before, so, you know. Now it makes sense than these other people, yeah, and I hope they never got back to that story, yes. Didn't Ava shoot the cousin? That is who I meant, okay. Ava, well, I don't think Ava, who did Ava shoot? Ava shot Kate Howard, right? I don't think she shot anyone else. Oh, they went after Trina's man, the cop, through the cop, and they went after the dude that testified against Esme. So that's wrong with me. Well, they didn't target Trina's cop boyfriend though. Trina's cop boyfriend went to the apartment, and you know, I think the hook killer was going after the guy that was selling the killer the venom. And the cop just happened to be there at the wrong time. Like, they didn't kill... oh my god, I can't even remember the cop's name. That's how irrelevant he was. They didn't go after him because of Trina. They went after him because he showed up at the apartment. It could have been any cop that went there, but it just happened to be him. Olivia's cousin. Who is Olivia's cousin? No, who is Olivia's cousin? But yeah, they like legitimately they've not gone near Trina. They've had how many opportunities to go after Trina, and they never did. Actually, the hook killer was on the boat, weren't they? The hook killer was on the Haunted Star on New Year's, and was sneaking up on on Trina and Spencer. But I don't know. There's just enough ties to Nell that it's a possibility, is all I'm saying. But I think we are dealing with multiple people, because while I think, you know, Heather was made to be like, oh, she's the killer, but she's not. Like, she's definitely she just went after someone else to make it seem like, or to, you know, to prove that Esme wasn't the killer, because I think that she might actually think that Esme's the killer. Has the hook tried to get Trina? So we seen the Hook lurking on the Haunted Star when Trina and Spencer were on the pier or on the deck, but we don't know if they were going after Spencer or Trina. And also, like, with two of them there, it's very fishy that the Hook Killer would even try it when it's 2 against 1, you know? Oh yeah, you're right, Kaiwan. Thank you. Yeah, I guess that Hook Killer would have been Heather, the one that was on the boat, and then that one went to the pier, and that was Heather. Yeah, okay. Never mind. I'm all wrong there. Thank you, Kaiwan. Yeah, so that Hook Killer was Heather, but yeah, if that one was Heather, then literally the Hook Killer that we've seen the whole other time has not once tried to go after Trina. Not once. Maybe it's Katrina? Do you mean... Oh, do you mean Trina? Does the final die? He said she's going to give her the web of the letters. What? Laura, you said also I gotta say it's why didn't they test Allison to see if she matched Willow? Wait, who's Alice? Oh, do you mean Liesel? If the killer is Nell and she gets caught and she's a match, or they are going to like chain her to make the transplant. You know, I thought about that. So, and we're gonna get into Willow and Michael in a minute here, but in my head, because I was just thinking this to myself, like, let's say Nell comes back alive, because we know that there's a very strong possibility that she's not dead, regardless if she's the Hook Killer or not. I think that if Nell is a match and she could give Willow, you know, what she needs to survive this cancer, she is most definitely, without a doubt, going to be like, I will give you my bone marrow in exchange for full custody of Wiley. Like, you know that she's not going to make it easy if that's the case. But there is hope for Willow, and we're going to discuss that in just a couple of minutes here. But let's finish off the other kind of minor plots before we get into it. So Gladys is still gambling and losing big time, and decides to give Brando's garage to Selena as payment. Cody overhears this and realizes that the Gladys that he sees at the games is in fact Sasha's mother-in-law, and it looks like he'll probably let Sasha know what Gladys did too, because Gladys is quite literally screwing Sasha over. What else happened? Olivia convinced Drew to give Carly another chance, and he does, and they sleep together. Yeah, that happened. Is anyone here for them? Let me know. But I do gotta say, I'm getting the vibe that not just with these two, not just with Carly and Drew, but with a lot of their couples, Joss and Dex, Trina and Spencer, Drew and Carly, Anna and Valentine, that these writers are really trying to invest and go all in with these particular couples, and they don't seem as wishy-washy as the writers have been with couples in the past. Like, it actually seems like they're wanting to invest and really go all in and sell these couples as like power couples. Even if I don't necessarily agree that they are, I do appreciate that they're being more bold and taking a chance and really, you know, investing in these couples more than they have with couples over the last decade, I would say. Cody could let Mac know and have Gladys removed as Sasha's overseer, but then who would be her overseer is the question. Still got stabbed, still hooked. Rory, if Rory stayed out of it, he wouldn't have been dead. Yeah, like, but it could have been any cop that went into that apartment building. He wasn't killed for being Trina's boyfriend. That's what you would call a red herring. It didn't take Drew to be mad a little longer at Carly. Shocker. No kidding. Yeah, Carly really got brushed off or got the easy way out for everyone. Could be a lawyer and Sonny's family. Okay. But yeah. Let's talk about, before we get into the Nina and Willow stuff, there's one more thing I want to talk about. The rescue mission for Lucy. Because that was kind of a big plot that was a big plot this week. Last we had seen, Victor had gotten the inkling that Anna and Valentine were getting closer to tracking down Lucy, and so he paid off an old flame of Valentine's named Renee to lead them into a trap. And she does try. They go to the catacombs in Paris, and of course, Renee is there trying to flirt with Valentine while Anna was off in a different part of the catacombs. Eventually, Anna catches up to them, and the three of them actually find Lucy, who's locked in a dungeon with a gag in her mouth and her arms chained up. And they get in there and ask Lucy if she's okay, and Renee ends up holding a gun on all three of them and calling in the guards. And they even call Victor on the phone, and he tells them to kill Anna and take Lucy and Valentine to wherever he was going to hold them hostage next. Except it turned out that while Anna was in a different part of the catacombs, she was setting up a trap because both Valentine and Anna realized that they were walking into one already. And they flooded the catacombs, killing all of the henchmen, and they rescued Lucy as well. And then back in Port Charles, we see Laura telling Victor that she got word that Valentine was killed in Paris, and Alexis was there too to hear the news, and Victor was visibly upset because he didn't want his son dead, even though he's got a morbid sort of way of showing that his son that he cares. But it turned out that Laura and Alexis were also in the loop of the rescue, and their role was basically to just make it convincing that Valentine was dead. And on top of that, Anna, Valentine, and Lucy are already back in Port Charles, or at least close to it. Robert and Felicia even managed to bring Martin to the safe house where they're hiding, blindfolded so that he couldn't see where they were going, so that he could reunite with Lucy. And I'm glad that Lynn Herring is back, and I really love Lucy and Martin, so I was glad to see them together again. I like that he was like fantasizing about like their first encounter. It was really sweet. Victor didn't want his son dead because he doesn't have a spare, and that's his heir. Yeah, you're right. And he's not invested in Spencer in the same way because Spencer and Charlotte know his tricks. Yeah, I do appreciate that Charlotte wasn't even giving Victor the time of day and just like calling him out for being the reason why Valentine was on the run again. Obviously Valentine, they kind of discuss Charlotte in this matter because everyone has to believe that Valentine is dead for now. But they're asking like, can you really do that to Charlotte? And he kind of says that Laura knows exactly what to say to Charlotte. So it makes me think that Charlotte's going to be in on it too. Which is great because the last time, he faked a death, it really crushed her, and he still hasn't paid for that, by the way. And the person whose death he faked is still like just being held somewhere. The person that she thought was her mom before Lulu is just being Claudette. She's just somewhere permanently held hostage by Valentine. They planned it out. He has a code so his daughter would know he was alive. Okay, good. I knew that there was some way that she wasn't gonna believe that Valentine was dead. But I don't know if those scenes are gonna play out on screen or not, so we'll see. I do want, since they've got like an older actress playing Charlotte now, I do want to see her rip Victor a new one. If she's got Lulu and Valentine as parents, then there's got to be some feist in her, and I want to see that. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, basically, Anna and Valentine and Robert and Felicia, their plan is essentially to try to use Victor's vulnerability to get him to confess to something, so that they have to stay hidden until that happens. But while Victor is upset, he isn't really giving up hope that Valentine is alive, so their plan might not play out as smoothly as they would have liked, or as I would like. However, I'm still liking that the OGs still got another win for now. It hasn't happened nearly enough over the years recently, but now we're 2 for 2 in the last few months, which is nice to see. I love seeing the veteran heroes get to win, and I need more of that for the 60th year. Like, I do want Victor to be brought down. He can come back in the future too, and I don't need the storyline rushed either. I think that they're doing a good job with the pacing of this particular story. Obviously, Holly's gonna have to come back and kind of wrap up her end of the story at some point and bring Ethan back. And obviously, depending on Tony Geary, the writers are gonna have to decide how they're gonna sort of bring Luke into this. Because is this really, just paying back for Luke's death? Is Luke really dead? Because, Victor hasn't killed anyone else. Hayden's mom, yeah. But, like, in terms of his plan for whatever Cassadine thing that's coming, like, everyone that's died has just been held hostage so far. Which makes me think that it's possible that he could be holding Luke somewhere, too. Of course, they aged her up. They held her away at the boarding school for so long that she changed. Well, I just meant, no, the actress that's playing her is still the last actress that we've seen her as, but she is growing up. They're, and I think they're embracing that. I think she hit a growth spurt. I just mean in contrast to the previous Charlotte that we knew for years. They aged her up, and now they're starting to utilize her and, have her appear older. Do you think Gladys is gonna poison Victor? Technically, it's Selena that poisons Victor, but I think we seen Selena give him something though. But it just nothing happened. I don't know. That whole thing is just, I don't know. It's weird to me. It's very weird. Valentine probably has a password that he shared with his daughter. You're right. That's probably the case. But anyway, now let's talk about the Nina and Willow stuff. So, do y'all remember how I was suspicious of how happy and how sure Nina was about being a match that will save Willow's life? I was right, because she wasn't a match. And also, we were treated to a dramatic "damn it" from Nina outside in front of the GH studio, which doubled as the outside of the hospital. I actually do appreciate that they use that front of GH as the hospital, the studio, I mean, because it does look like it could be the bottom of the hospital. And in Night Shift, we did see like a sort of CGI rendition that ties that bottom half of that building to the top half of what would be the hospital. Magical drink that did nothing. That's why I made the saltpeter joke kept him from taking advantage of Lucy. That's why he was so grumpy and held her in crappy accommodations. Oh man, that's funny. Gotta love Nina showed her true colors in her fantasy. Willow was going to forgive her because she saved her life. Yeah, Yeah, like clearly, at least Nina was like open about that's what she thought was going to happen, and the fact that it didn't, not surprising. The fact that she thought it would, laughable. But yeah, like, Nina, you know, she's obviously devastated that she's not a match. And, you know, the news kind of comes, you know, makes its way through Port Charles. Brooklyn and Sasha were around. They were devastated too. And they were both like, I need to let Chase know. So I'm thinking we're going to see a bit of a rivalry between Brooklyn and Sasha. Ned was even at the hospital to support Michael. He gave his whole "We are Quartermain" speech, and we may fight about business, but we are always there for each other when we need to be because we are family. Which is, you know, I never get tired of hearing that, because that's what that at the end of the day, no matter who the Quartermains are, which family members we do see and who we don't see, that has always been the sort of integral part of the Quartermain brand. You know, they're family through and through. In any crisis, they come together. Business is a separate thing that they can fight over when it's time to fight over it. Carly was devastated too. Not even really, you know, obviously, yeah, she's like sad for Willow and like, oh crap, you know, that should have been the thing that saved her. But I think Carly's just more mad because, you know, she put Willow through the hell of finding out the painful truth about her mom for nothing, even though she shouldn't have kept it from her in the first place. Like, I think, I don't know, Carly's motives, y'all. I don't even know. Carly, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, things seemed pretty hopeless for Willow for a minute, but then Terry mentioned that her baby's umbilical cord and the stem cells might actually be able to save Willow. And I don't know about y'all, but I would be like, if I was Willow, I would be like, couldn't you have mentioned that at any point in this whole battle? Couldn't you have listed that as an option? Why is it that she's just now stating that that is an option? It doesn't make any sense to me. Make it make sense. Like, I mean, maybe like for the audience's sake, they didn't want to bring that hope up because they wanted to make us feel like Nina was her only hope. But like, I don't know. They could have brought that up. And obviously, Willow is a bit iffy about doing that because she's worried that it could harm the baby. But Terry does try to reassure her that this thing happens all the time. I even think, like, isn't that what happened for Christina when it came to Jason and Sam's baby? Or not Jason and Sam's, Sunny and Sam's baby. You know, it was her stem cells that saved Christina. But it's just, you know, Sam's baby was stillborn. And not as a result of her helping Christina either. Willow just got on my nerves. Yeah. But you know what? While she wasn't completely sold on the idea of using her baby's stem cells to save her own life, Michael called Carly to bring Wiley over, and he's like, have the baby, because he just wants to meet his brother or sister. But you know, it convinces Willow to, like, you know, let's have this baby and let's hopefully get me better. Willow needed something before the baby was even fit to survive outside of the womb. Willow waited too long to seek treatment. Yeah, but like once she started to seek the treatment, why wasn't that listed as an option? Like, you know, because Willow's not getting any better and she's only getting worse. So why is it now that they bring it up? It just confuses me, that's all. They had Willow wait and keep the baby. because of the whole Roe versus Wade thing. And they didn't want to alienate people. I mean, I don't know, because apparently, like, I don't live in the U.S., but it's my understanding that in the state of New York, it is not illegal to abort, right? And they're not trying to abort the baby either. They're just doing the stem cell thing. Anyway, though, let's finish this off. Let's wrap it up because it's getting late. So yeah, they're gonna have the baby try and save Willow. I do think that it would be a juicier story if Nell has to be the one that saves Willow. But either way, I don't. There's no doubt in my mind that she's not gonna die. You know, even though Michael's cursed overall, I think they've invested too much in Michael and Willow to kill her off now. And especially in like all the years that they spent kind of slowly but surely building up Nina and Willow as two people that absolutely despise each other, and that, you know, puts them in a position, or puts Nina in a position to raise or to have a daughter in her life. Like, they wouldn't just kill her off after that, I don't think. Isn't the baby not ready to be born yet? Like this, isn't it still premature? So the storyline is going to be premature labor, so baby can save your life. I'm still betting on Nell coming back. Well, no, because they said like the baby's 8 months along, and that it's not like, while there is some potential risks on bringing a baby in this early, around this time, at least according to Terry, like babies can survive this. You know, being born a month early all the time. Did you even realize that they had deleted scenes this week? No, but, you know. I don't know. I tend to avoid the deleted scenes because I get mad that they weren't in the show in the first place. So I'd rather just not get me riled up. Because I always find myself thinking, like, why didn't they show this instead of making us experience so-and-so characters that didn't need to be on when it helps move the story? But anyway, to end things here, Nina overhears the news that Willow could be saved, and her first thought is, great. If Willow's gonna be fine, I'm gonna kickstart my revenge on Carly, which I think is gonna be the first thing that we see on Monday. Which just solidifies to me that she really is Nell's mom, because Carly lives rent-free in that woman's mind too. What person did mention bringing up Nell's body and using her bone marrow? Good night, Brooklyn. But yeah, that's all my notes, y'all. Like, that was GH in a nutshell this week. I didn't hate the show this last week. I love that we saw more of Anna, Lucy, and Valentine, because I was so sure that, like, once we seen like them escape the catacombs, like, we wouldn't see them for a bit longer. But then we see them back in Port Charles already, which is great. And those were the highlights for me, apart from Ava's one-liner. Nina is so annoying, she's gotta go. True. ETM, you said, with all the chemo stuff, I'm surprised the baby still is even alive at this point, because you know that can do damage to a fetus. So how does the plan unless she's not getting treatment? But I think, you know, wasn't the whole story like chemo isn't going to affect the baby if it's later in the trimester that she goes through it, right? Again, I'm no medical expert. I'm just going by what GH's reasonings for it. She was able to now do the chemo because it's not as dangerous for the baby's health. Yeah, she was told that she had to wait until the second trimester so the baby would live. Yeah. So it should be fine, right? And she waited and waited even longer. Yeah, exactly. Chemo affects the baby as long as it's in Nina's womb? Do you mean Willow's womb? But how much so? Because obviously Terry is saying, like, despite that, like, the baby could save Willow's life. So I don't know. Again, it's GH logic, not real life logic. Who knows? Who knows? Alright, y'all. But I am going to end the live stream because I hear my dog trying to get out and go for a pee. So I'm going to end it right here. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. If you liked this video, give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe if you want to. I'd really appreciate it. I will see you guys this Wednesday. We are going to react to an episode from one of the sweep stunts. So stay tuned for that. And I will catch you guys on Wednesday. Peace out.